kibbutz Sad. It was the greatest year of my life. Sorry, Bobby. But it was sandwiched by tragedy. The day that we landed in Israel was the day of the Munich Olympic massacre. And then shortly after the year, after the end of Hashara, the Yom Kippur War broke out. Anticipating that the war would be over quickly, like the Six-Day War was, the Israeli government was not quick to organize and ask for American volunteers to flood the shores. But as the months dragged on, they realized it would not be over quickly, and by then the fire and passion had started to wane, and Benai Akiva was one of the few organizations left that had the firepower to bring volunteers over. And I'm happy to say that I was one of the first 7 volunteers. We were from UCLA, and we came to Benai Akiva, to Kibbutz Yavneh, to replace the kibbutz members that were out fighting the war. After I returned to Los Angeles at the end of the war, I became Maskir Galil of Los Angeles, and it was a busy time. In addition to running Benai Akiva Tnuah, we also were involved in purchasing a camp in Big Bear. And at the same time, suddenly someone said that they weren't able to do it, so they asked if I would also be the madrich of a high school shevet. And that shevet, I was, my madricha was Lulu Ezra, now Fenstein, and that's the #1 best shevet ever. Many of my shevet members made Aliyah, but their parents are here today, and a lot of my shevet members are here today. They're just wonderful kids. Nowadays, the Machach Ba'aretz program in summers for after 10th grade is hundreds and hundreds of kids. But back then with my kids, there were 30 kids in the entire United States and Canada on that program. 15 were my kids from Los Angeles. Right now? In later years, Javi and I were very involved for many years in the small working nucleus of Benai Akiva Parent Board, hosting shlichim and barami girls and running mishloach manot, schach, and Yom HaSmut programs into the wee hours of the night, and many times throughout the night. We were also camp parents for many years at Moshavah's winter and summer camps in Big Bear, Julian, and Yucaipa. It's so gratifying for us to see the new generation of Benai Akiva parents doing such a fantastic job. I want to thank all of them for all their hard work. I must single out Ruth Berkowitz, who was such a phenomenal force of nature, for her patience, her perseverance, and her tireless efforts on behalf of Benai Akiva. Every year is her last year. I hope this year is not her last year. Now I would like to introduce my wife, Javi, to give you a brief review of Benai Akiva's most recent accomplishments.
Eric Toth. I'm the other half of Vic and Javi, and somewhat embarrassed to admit that I never attended SNF or Camp Moshavah until I married into Benai Akiva. But I'm now proud to announce that after 28 years, I can now sing the entire first stanza of Yadatim. Welcome to Benai Akiva of Los Angeles' 6th annual Erev Gvura, presenting to our community and to our children the heroes of Israel who make a difference to the future of Am Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael. Benai Akiva of Los Angeles is one of the largest branches of the religious Zionist youth movement in the United States. Our Week of Jewish Heroism is our main annual fundraiser for our local chapter. Beyond raising money, what makes this annual Heroism Week so special is that our Gvura honorees educate and inspire so many in our religious Zionist community. The courageous personal stories of our heroes have, during the past 6 years, reached thousands from young to old. Their bravery, their mesirut nefesh inspire us with their ingenuity, devotion, and sacrifice on behalf of our people and the land of Israel. This week, our heroes, Nitzana and Avi Darshan-Leitner, are visiting our community schools and interacting with middle school and high school students. Faculty members and board members report that the enthusiasm and excitement generated in the schools by these presentations was palpable. To review benai akiva's accomplishments during the past year would probably take up the entire evening, so I will highlight just a few. Our 4 snifim, Saj, Luchot, Tirat-Tzvi in Valley Village, and Lavi in the West Valley are flourishing. We continue to grow our popular program for the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, Vazach, with its snif at home. Chevraya Bet again held wonderfully successful Rosh Hashanah shofar blowing and Sukkot lulav shaking programs at Cedar Sinai. The events, in conjunction with NCSY, had over 60 teams participating